Have you ever wished that you could look into the future? For hundreds of years, mystics and spiritualists have used tarot cards to do exactly that. Most people here listening today have probably heard of tarot cards and maybe even had a friend read their cards as a party trick. But what are they really, and where do they actually come from? Personally, tarot is very special to me because I've been reading for almost 15 years. My grandma taught me when I was around 10 years old, and she inspired me to learn everything I could about the cards, and I hold the practice very dear to my heart. However, before we can see the future, let's look at the past. Tarot can be traced all the way back to 1440s Italy. It was originally a complex card game that featured ornate imagery and was often commissioned by artists. According to Dr. Elena Vasquez, who is a cultural anthropologist that wrote an information article about playing cards from around the world, the oldest cards known were commissioned for the Visconti Sforza family in Italy between 1437 and 1442. However, the cards were not even associated with the occult until the 1700s, when Antoine Court de Gébelin wrote his opus, called The Primitive World. A Smithsonian Magazine article describes his thoughts as speculative, as he connected tarot to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs, claiming gypsies preserved the cards throughout the millennium and brought them back to Europe. Regardless of the lack of evidence of Roma being the origin of the cards, the association did stick, and a new form of divination was born. This new way of using the cards was still aligned with the original card design, utilizing major and minor arcana format. Major arcana is represented by element and mythological figures, such as the moon, the devil, and the lovers. Specific figures and meanings change over time and vary greatly by culture. For example, the death card represents rebirth and transformation in Western anthologies, but in Eastern traditions, it represents the death of ego, which leads to enlightenment. Minor arcana follows similarly to traditional playing cards, using suits that also vary by culture and practice. Western suits include cups, swords, wands, and pentacles, with each suit having 10 numbered cards 1 through 10, and 4 court cards, page, knight, queen, and king. The wand suit represents the fire element, and when you're reading, this would represent passion and creativity. Cups would be the water element, emotions, and intuition. Swords represents air, which is thoughts, communication, and conflict when reading. Pentacles represents the earth, which would be material things in your life, such as work, finances, and health. Altogether, each deck contains 78 cards, including both major and minor arcana. To use the card, the reader must maintain a spiritual connection and personal connection to the cards through meditation and regular use. There are literally thousands of spreads, otherwise known as different layouts, that you can possibly use to read the cards. A common one is known as a past, present, future grid, a 3x3 grid used to look at different elements of a person's life, past, present, and future. Today, artists from across the world also still create beautiful renditions of the cards, intertwining their own culture and personal practices. These feature endless possibilities, from celestial representations, woodland creatures, herbalism, and even cartoon characters. So today, we have looked at the historical origins of tarot, seen their rich and artistic cultural influences, as well as their different uses and intricate meanings. Now that we've looked at the past and the present, what could you see in the future?